G'day, I'm Glenn Roche, drummer, inventor, owner of Percussion Engineering here in Melbourne, Australia. I've enjoyed making a lot of things for my playing, transportation ease, or staging over the years, especially to get the best sound from drums or percussion items. To do that today, I'm proud to present my most recent product, proud enough to whack my name on it, the Roche-Port. Developed to obtain the best combination of tone, feel, dynamics, and amplification of a bass drum, what I pursue as whole kick CRED. The best sound I've wanted from a bass drum is with two full heads for depth. The best feel is to play a bass drum that air can flow out of for woof. The best amplification is from miking some sound, but more so the air that can puff out of a bass drum. My Roche-Port solution is to capture the best combination of sound and air movement for detail and woof, or doof. The Roche-Port is installed directly into the bass drum shell for a lifetime's worth of benefit, never to cut a hole in an expensive bass drum skin again, with no hole ruining the sound or printed band logo area on a front skin. It allows two full bass drum skins to resonate deepest when playing off of the head, or be choked shorter by playing technique when playing into the head, as well as directing a puff of air to exit the bass drum toward a microphone. The Roche-Port also proposes a safe position for a mic to capture the sound and air rushing out of the drum instead of the mic being kicked over by an energetic singer, if at all you noticed it had happened, or worse, the tearing of a bass drum skin, if or when that inevitably happens. You need that like a hole in the head. For the drummer, you can check on the out of the singer's way Roche-Port mic position because it's viewable, and you're close enough to adjust the mic because it's reachable. The Roche-Port is made in a size so a mic is never placed inside the drum, because to me that sounds like an iron pipe being struck. But it is the right size to channel air movement and sound outward toward a microphone. The Roche-Port is fitted once, providing multiple benefits that have delivered my bandmates and I a reliable on-stage feel, and even with a 16-inch bass drum, amusingly powerful sound through small or big PA systems. With the mic in situ, the same benefits are experienced in a personal practice space, band rehearsal rooms, small clubs, larger or outdoor concert spaces. The satisfaction is ever present at any level of playing opportunities, either acoustic or mic'd up. With your purchase of this lifelong solution, I hope, I supply a little functioning bass drum package full of Roche-Port installation tools, 2 Roche-Ports, one for bass drum, one for a floor tom to be a bass drum, info pages for installation, benefits to look out for, a history of bass drum sound pursuit, including video link titles of the journey, packaging that turns into your own desktop Roche-Port bass drum, and a bonus event punch for yet more bass drum versatility and feel. The tools provided can also become a melodic bell chime set, or be tools again when required. The benefits that can be trialled one drum at a time, either with your main kick drum or to use a floor tom as a bass drum for small gigs, lounge room rehearsals, or big gigs too, because a mic'd up Roche-Port, even in a 16-inch bass drum, works well anywhere. I'll now get into the installation on a few of my own bass drums, as well as the request for installation into several rehearsal higher kit bass drums here at the Band Booth Rehearsal Studios in Dandenong, Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for watching, and I hope the whole concept inspires a new satisfaction for your instrument and its increased value in any of your playing environments. Incidentally, your sound person may not possess a mic stand to go low enough or be small enough in some circumstances, so I've devised a Roche-Port mic stand with a 3/8 of an inch thread for a mic clip thread adapter as found on premium stands. It is super low profile and stable for this exact application. Please order online. We'll now hear some examples of the bass drums by themselves and with the Roche-Port. Stick around. Installation and audio demonstrations are coming up. This may be a challenge to watch, but it all ends happily due to the Roche-Port solution's fun and benefits. something I now know as whole kick CRED. In my experience, ruining a front head by cutting a hole into it limits an otherwise more expressive and musically adaptable bass drum to just one short sound, loud or soft. But with a Roche-Port installed to let the air out, and with two full heads, you get more sound options, short or long, and a lower note. That's what you're availing yourself acoustically. Then mic it up and adjust the mic position to optimize it through a PA. Personally, I aim for a lower note, but that does not exclude higher note tunings from two full heads preferred by jazz players, and now the Roche-Port allows miking that sound as well. I'll start with the most common of bass drums and the ideal 8 inches off the floor position for the Roche-Port installation. Listen to all the points before commencing to become more sure of the process. Number 1, Roche-Port position. The position to install the Roche-Port is ideally just like the cute little Roche-Port bass drum packaging. 8 inches or 21 centimetres off the floor on a real bass, underneath the curve on the right-hand side of a right-handed bass drum, and the opposite for a left-handed drum set. See the 22-inch and 16-inch bass drums right here. I suggest installation toward the player side of the bass drum centre line, so a mic can also pick up a bit of floor tom if that's the direction the mic is intentionally angled toward. That hint of floor tom in the PA is welcome because it is a low-pitched, low-volume drum, and the kick mic is ideally boosted at low EQ for the bass drum anyway. It all works out favourably and is quite fun to hear in the PA. That's low EQ for kick and floor tom bleed for kicks. With these criteria in mind, you'll first mark that 8 inches off the floor spot for the installation and double check with the example seen here. Number 2, tools required. Installing the Roche-Port is done by using the supplied hole saw. You'll fit that to a battery or electric drill set on low to medium speed. Number 3, the pair of the bass drum solid and stable. Ideally, the rear head can be removed from the bass drum. This, after drilling from the outside halfway inward, allows access to drill from the inside the other halfway outward, which is what you do to have a clean hole saw cut from both sides of a cabinetry wood panelling, or in this case, the bass drum shell. Some shells are very thin, so don't drill in too far. Aim the drill inwards and outwards a few times to be sure and accurately insert the centre drill as the locator every time. Maybe also practice on some similarly thin plywood to further understand the hole saw behaviour. It's best to position the bass drum with a foot inside at the bottom of the shell and one leg outside to keep it steady, and use 2 hands on the drill to keep the drill steady while drilling directly downward, gently using only gravity as pressure. Drill halfway through the shell inwards from the outside, then from the inside outwards. Carefully run the spinning hole saw halfway through the hole to clean any chips from within the hole. There should be little else to do with the hole. If a little splinter may lift up, that can be pressed back into place or glued down carefully. The Roche-Port covers all the outside edge of the hole also. Number 4, Roche-Port fit and alignment. With the logo upright and the words doof doof level with the lugs, insert the Roche-Port within the hole in the shell. It stays there by being resilient plastic and can be pushed outward and adjusted, if not quite pushed incorrectly the first try. Number 5, test the results. Install a full devoted bass drum front head, preferably the same as the rear head, and have a play. You'll hear the difference between a full head compared to a head with a hole. You may certainly feel the difference. If this is satisfactory, then you have completed the installation and look forward to hearing the results at first, then with your band, and then especially at your next mic'd up gig. If, however, you feel the 2 full head combination to be a little wild or bouncy to the pedal feel, then you can perform the next step for the ultimate Roche-Port customised outcome, and that's adding rear head vent holes. Number 6, punching vent holes in the rear head. The usual feel of a bass drum is with a large hole in the front head. This lets a lot of air through when hit with the bass drum pedal beater. To arrive at a 2 full head sound and a hole in the front head feel, you can install a second Roche-Port on the other side of the bass drum, or we can introduce vent holes to the rear head. You choose either 10, 16 or 20 vent holes around the head, depending on what bass drum feel you want. Tip the bass drum over to be horizontal with the rear head facing upward. Use the length of the vent hole punch from the inside face of the bass drum hoop to put a mark on the head at each lug location. Then rotate the head on the drum shell to position those marks between the lugs and mark at the lug locations again. you will have 10, 16 or 20 locations depending on having an 8-lug bass drum or a 10-lug bass drum with holes at and between the lug locations. See the examples here. Now ideally position the head and tools on a concrete floor. Note the small chunk of preferably particle board on the concrete to support the underside of the head while punching through from the playing side of the head. Hammer the back end of the punch hard enough to punch the hole, no more, no less. Try it first on an old head or a plastic blister packed food tray perhaps. Personally, I use 20 holes as I feel it lets the beater push the head deeper into the bass drum, and the outcome increases due to larger air movement from 2 full heads resonance. This, in combination with the Roche-Port, provides the deepest, loudest outcome from my efforts. And of course, we can always play softer with just less effort. Jazzy feathering of 2 full heads is all captured through the Roche-Port toward the mic as well. The hole punch is small enough not to reduce sustain and depth. I experimented with larger holes and it reduced sustain. The sustain is found by allowing the beater to rebound back off the head to allow it to resonate. In a PA, this is like a big arena style sound for a rock gig, even with a 16-inch bass drum, or a warmer sound in a softer gig, where your playing decision is audibly different as and when you choose the more options the bass drum can now provide. From one song to the next, you can hear what works pretty quickly, either for Bruno funk or AC/DC grunt, pulse felt or time insisted. The Roche-Port is not only about stadium heavy rock qualification, it's about tone, feel and dynamics. That's all the options at any volume. I'll be installing several Roche-Ports in the bass drums here, and by watching these examples, it will be clear how it's done. I really hope you find a new delight in incorporating this solution to your own drums, and look forward to hearing from those that have that newfound satisfaction from the Roche-Port system of whole kit CRED. Incidentally, your sound person may not possess a mic stand to go low enough or be small enough in some circumstances, so I've devised a Roche-Port mic stand with a 3/8 of an inch thread for a mic clip thread adapter as found on premium stands. It is super low profile and stable for this exact application. Please order online. Whole kit CRED. We'll now hear some examples of the bass drums by themselves and with the Roche-Port. Thanks for watching, and I hope the whole concept inspires a new satisfaction for your instrument and its increased value in any of your playing environments. Stick around, audio demonstrations are coming up. I've just packed away a few things here, and now I'm going to go over to the drums that are set up on the riser there, a Roche riser by chance, and we'll play the kick drum with and without the PA. Well, it's just a subby, so I'll plug it in and play a little bit more, but first I'll play with and without. So that's just a normal kick drum mic, Shure PGA 52, but it also works with any mic. It's just the puff of air. All right, let's see how we go. I'm just going to unmute the channel now that I've plugged it in. And that desk is absolutely flat. First, I'd like to play it without the mic in situ. So let's it's not bad. And then with the mic in situ. So that's a short sound and a bit of a longer sound as well. And while the mic is was usually additive low EQ, it's great for floor tom as well. So if you angle it a little bit towards there, it's still picking up the bass drum, but also a little bit of floor tom as well. Still picking up the bass drum, but also a little bit of floor tom as well. Quite fun. Okay, I hope you hear my other examples. They're on Glenn Roach Music on YouTube. And I'll probably compile them and put them under one folder as Roche-Port examples. So enjoy what you hear. While it's still rolling, I wanted to just show you that desk is set flat on that channel that's got the illuminated button. And the gain's not really great either. Yeah, sounds mighty fine. So that's my 16-inch floor tom, which I put the Roche-Port into yesterday. You can see that in the video, and there's the 22-inch from the same kit, and one of two black bass drums for that kit. And at the moment, that's pretty dinky. 6, 8, 10, 14, and of course the 16-inch bass drum with the Roche-Port. And an even smaller bass drum, and that's the packaging for the product. Doof! Thanks for watching.